commitment to themselves, based on their commitment to the dream, based on their commitment, to let go of old habits. I don't know what you guys would normally be doing at this time. The average man or the average woman or the average person at this time is catching up on soapies. What's the time? It's 7:05. They're catching up on what? Scandal or something like that, or whatever the case is. But usually at this time, people are, gathered in just enough strength so that they can win the next game, right? Gathering just enough courage to work, to go back to work the next day. What a painful way, of living your life, of living your life, If you would take the time to listen to all these people and find out why they are working on jobs they don't like or jobs whereby they're unhappy, the first thing they will tell you is it's because they have responsibilities. It's because they have responsibilities, and it's because they've got bills to pay, they've got a lifestyle to maintain, they've got kids, bills that they need to make sure that they are paid in terms of making sure they go to school and all of that. And ultimately, if you listen to, or excuses, if you will, they boil down to one thing. They boil down to money. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but ultimately, all of their excuses, the bottom line is money, right? How often do you hear or see people who are willing to work for free? How often do you hear or see people who do their work because they love what they do? It's not to say they don't exist, but they are very rare, right? And I always say, if 90% of the population then, 90% of the population or 90% of people, go to work for money, then we need to question, why is it that we don't take the time to learn about money? If money is the reason why people would work jobs they don't like, why don't we take the time to learn about it, right? So today, before I move with today's session, I've had a brief of this with Lindo, and I'm going to do the same thing with you guys as well. And we're going to start with, writing down your why. I'll tell you why is important. Because why is an abbreviation for what hurts you. As people, we are motivated by two P's, letter P, right? The first P is for pain, the second P is for pleasure, right? So I'm gonna need us to write a task, like as in now, a task that we are all gonna get engaged in now. And the task is about getting you guys to write down, why are you here? And we need to go down to the real thing. Why did you take the time to invest into yourself? Property won't make you happy. It's just property. That's all there is to it. It's just bricks and mortar. Why did you take the time to learn about this thing? Why are you here? Why is it important for you to be here, right? So the first thing we're going to do the task like right now, isn't right now. I hope you all have a pen and paper. So I'm going to ask a question and then give you guys 2 minutes to 3 minutes to write it down, to write your answers down, and then move to the next question. And then we get started with today's session. So the first and foremost important question when doing anything is why? Why are you doing it? Why is it important for you to be successful in property? I need you to write that down. Why is it important for you to be successful in property, right? You could be successful in a lot of things, but why property? Why does property have to be the path for you to succeed? I'll tell you why we are doing this task. Because a lot of people tend to give up on their dreams because their why isn't strong enough. A lot of people tend to give up on their dreams because their reason to keep going on after they've already kept going on expires when they face challenges. And I need you guys to write down your why, because it's important for you to have a full understanding of yourself as to why is it important for you to succeed in property. So I hope you guys are writing down your answers. I'll make an example for myself. So for me, it was important for me to succeed in property because my vision at large is to change the educational system. My vision is to change the educational system. I want to create an environment or a world whereby a child will be able to live life according to their purpose. A child's purpose and the child's giftings will be harnessed and endorsed. Is endorsed the right word? Cultivated the right word. So it's to create an environment where every child's dream, every child's goal, every child's giftings may be cultivated during school hours instead of them just being, spending 8 hours a day on academics, right? For me, it's about getting the gifts out. The real meaning of the word education. Education is derived from a Greek word which means educere or educere, and educere means to draw out potential from within. So all of you guys sitting right where you are in the comfort of your homes or at work, you've got amazing potential. And this potential, for it to be materialized or for it to be realized, one has to undergo through processing. And this processing includes one changing from inside to outside. Remember on our first session, we said the change begins with your mind, right? And the quality of associations that you get yourself with, that you get yourself entangled or associated. Wait, did I just say entangled? Okay, let's just leave that one aside. Okay, so that's just one of those things, right? So that's the first thing. Now, keep in mind that when you went to school, one of the first things that had to be done was that you first had to be conditioned here mentally for whatever it is that you are doing today. For whatever job you had to be conditioned mentally. Now, your why now has to be strong enough for you to rewire the conditioning, for you to revisit, the things you've been taught, right? So why is it important for you to succeed? Through property, So for me also, I figured that I want to own schools all over the country. I want to be like Turo. I don't know if you guys know this big, amazing business that's doing very well in private schools. They're called Turo. And for me, I'm fascinated by their success. They're actually challenging me. And that's where I want to go. I want to do the same thing as Turo, or maybe even better, right? So that's my vision. Turo makes a turnover of 200 million rand plus per annum, right? And it's a business that will never end because abantwana soloko funeka baye esikoleni. Always have to go to school. Good times, bad times, that business is always going to make money, right? Even during COVID times, parents were still being raided for school fees, yet children were not going to school. Teachers have to be paid. Teachers have to be paid. COVID or no COVID, these people have to survive. You signed a 1-year contract to pay school fees from January up until December. I like that business, right? So that's one of the reasons why, for me, working on property is successful. So I needed for you to write down vision yako, why kubalulekile ukuthi wena uphumelele through property? That's the first question. Now I'm going to move on to the second question. The second question is, as I said, so now that you've enrolled yourself into this mentorship course, what kind of pleasure will you experience if you take action? What kind of pleasure will you experience if you take action? If you take action 1 year from now, financially, where do you think you will be? Where will you be if you take action? Financially. Where will you be in terms of in terms of your emotional equity? Right? How happy would you be 1 year from now that you took action today? How should you feel emotionally? How happy will you be 1 year from now because you took action? Right? And mentally, in terms of your peace with regards to your mindset is concerned, how much more happier would you be if you take action today working on the street? How happy would you be? How will you feel 1 year from now if you take action? And I want you to answer the same question and say 5 years from now. If you take action for 5 consecutive years from now, where will you be 5 years from now? How successful will you be 5 years from now? Financially, how much would you be making? What kind of lifestyle will you be living for having taken action? What kind of friends will you be having? Quality of relationships? What will you be enjoying 5 years from now? One of my mentors said, you are where you are today because some time ago, you made an appointment to be where you are today. And today, we're talking about the appointment yako for 1 year from now, appointment yako for 5 years from now. If you take action today and take consistent action for 5 years, what kind of work will you be doing? Will you be still having your job? Would you maybe be working your job because you love your job? Or maybe would you have fired your boss by then? Would you be like me, maybe, or maybe perhaps even more, waking up at any time you'd like, take a walk, go to the gym, start working at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, because it's your company, right? And maybe it's just that I don't have the time to play golf, but maybe you would be playing golf, right? I don't know. What kind of success, what kind of a father will you be to your family if you take consistent action 1 year from now, 5 years from now? What kind of a father will you be? Bantwana bakho zabasesikolweni, uhambe uyobathatha, take your kids to go to soccer, to play soccer practice, to do soccer practice, watch your daughter learn how to swim, and then take your daughter and then take them home, listen to your daughter's day. How was your day, Mtanam? Listen to what happened. Hear her when she starts telling you about the boy who is actually telling her, ukuthi uyamthanda esikolweni, right? And how good would that make you feel as a father? How good would that make you feel as a mother? That your child, who is a teenager, trusts you enough to even tell you about the person who's actually crushing on them in school. What kind of a parent will you be? How close will you be with your kids? How close will you be to your daughter, your son? What kind of a husband will you be if you take action? Will you have enough time to love the mother of the house? If you are a wife, what kind of, wife are you going to be? What kind of mother are you going to be to the children? Would you have enough time for them? Would you be able to run the household or take care of the family the way that you would like to? What kind of vacations will you have if you take consistent action for 1 to 5 years from now? What kind of pleasure will you enjoy if you take consistent action? Now, for me, one of the most important things I always wanted in my life was control. For me, control is the most important thing. I hate someone dictating my fate for me. I love being in control of literally everything. I don't like being told what to do, right? I like being the kind of guy, if I want to do something, let me do it when I feel like it or when I want to do it. If I don't want to do it, don't want to do it. If you're going to force me, you and I are going to have a hard time because I don't want to do it. So for me, I grew up wanting to be a control freak over the events of my life, right? I hated not having money. I hated depending on people. I hated asking for money. Oh God, I hate that emotion. That thing of, lowering your self-esteem or lowering or humbling yourself to ask for money. When you believe you are at an age where you're supposed to be responsible. From the ages of 16 years, I hated every emotion that had to do with asking for money. I wanted to be responsible. I wanted to take care of my money and have my own stuff. I wanted that emotion so bad, being in control. So success for me meant being in control. I looked at my father when my father would plan the budget, and then he would say, Bantwana bam, Nkosikazi, I'm going to get 50,000 rand this month. 5,000 rand iyenkonzweni. And then about, whatever, a bond is going to be 7,000 rand. Entertainment, this and that. I'm going to give each one of my children 500 rand, just J for them, and then this one is to carry us through the month. Whenever my father discussed the budget, for me, I wanted that control because being an adult, dude, meant for me that I could choose if in this family we're going to be rich. I could choose if in this family we're going to be poor. I could choose if in this family we're going to be a middle-class family. I could choose. I could decide, and that's what being an adult meant for me. It meant that I could control. La ekhaya, are we going to be a rich family? Are we going to be a wealthy family? And that's what a lot of adults don't realize, that being an adult is an amazing gift in the sense that you have the choice. When you are a child, you don't have the choice. Uzaliwe apha endlini mfondini. Uba kuphuwa apha endlini, that's it. You bite the bullet, right? If you grown up in a middle-class family, that's it. You bite the bullet. If you grow up in a rich family, dude, you're lucky, right? But when you are an adult, being an adult always meant control. That I could control a budget. Am I going to use it to help us become more richer? Or am I going to use it to beat us down? So control was a very important part in my life. I wanted to be in control of my time. I wanted to work when I want, and I wanted to do work I love. I wanted to do what I call great work. I wanted to work. I wanted when I worked, dude, that it must be so much fun that I don't need motivation. So much fun that if I have to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning to work, I just flow. You look at soccer players, dude, those people get paid for playing soccer. Dude, they're just kicking a ball, right? They're just kicking a ball. But guess what? They're making a living from kicking a ball. I wanted to be like that. Today I make a living from talking. And damn, I talk a lot. I think I talked way too much, right? But I love it. That's what I get paid for, right? And for me, I do it. I don't struggle. I do it sweatlessly. I don't even have a script to teach you guys what I'm teaching because it's in my heart. I know it. You know what I mean? It's in me. I've been studying this thing. I've been doing this thing. I spend about 6 to 10 hours a day studying business, practicing business. So it's a part of my life. It's my lifestyle. You know what I mean? So for me, I wanted to do what I call great work. So for me, that's what it meant. You know, that's one of my whys. And tell you what, I go to sleep every night excited about the future, whether I had a bad day or not. Tell you what, I'm always excited about the future. Why? Because I'm doing into Nitandayo. I'm doing into Nitandayo. You know what I mean? So I needed to write down your why. Why is it important for you to take action consistently? Right? A lot of people start this mentorship program having the excitement of the world. I'm going to be a millionaire. I want to be rich. You know, it's possible. Yes, it is. But the thing is, they fail once, they get challenged once, but because their why was not strong enough, and then they quit. That's why we're having this session, is to discuss your why. Why is it important ukuthi mawuphumelele? Right? Now, let's move on to the next P. The P for pain. What kind of pain will you experience if you don't take consistent action? What kind of pain will you experience if you don't take consistent action? If you don't take consistent action, financially, where do you think you will be? Will you be happier? If you don't take consistent action towards this dream, this journey that you have started, how happy would you be? What kind of life would you live? Financially, where will you be 1 year from now? 5 years from now, if you don't take action, where will you be? Now, my father was a very good salesman. My father, whenever we drove around Cape Town, if we drove around informal settlements, he'd always say to me, son, if you don't take action, or if you are not going to be serious with your dreams, your portion will be an informal settlement. If you don't take consistent action with regards to your dreams, with regards to your goals, with regards to your purpose, your portion will be staying in an informal settlement. Right? And he wasn't saying it because he was mocking people who stay in informal settlements. But he was trying to sell me on the importance of being a man committed to his dreams. And then when we drove on the other side of town, he'd say, you see, Apage, the people who stay here because they were consistent in the pursuit of their dreams. They had a serious approach to life. They had a serious approach to their way of living. You hear a lot of students who got degrees saying, no, we didn't know we're not going to have jobs. We didn't know. We were unprepared. We thought that we are going to have jobs because we went to school. And for me, I'd always say, but dude, have you not been paying attention? Have you not been seeing that the unemployment rate has been going up? Have you not been seeing that abantu bayakwazi ubane degrees bafunde but bangabi namsebenzi? The real definition of unemployment, it means that you are well able, well equipped, well educated, well skilled, right? Well endowed, but there is not enough platforms for you to practice your endowment. That's the meaning of unemployment. So if there are not enough platforms for you to practice your endowment in you being employed, why then go blindly into the pursuit of your degree? Why then not take the time to study what's happening so that you don't fall prey to people who who end up not having jobs? What's happening? Jobs are being shipped. Jobs are being lost. The times have changed. The educational system has not changed. You understand? And for me, I always say that the reason why a lot of these people is because they were never serious in the first place. You can't live life on autopilot. You can't live life and not question things. You can't just be a blind follower and still be a visionary. There is no visionary who runs towards their vision being blindfolded. Are you with me? Right? So you need to be a person of attention. You need to pay attention. Is my dream or is my vision in line with the times I'm living in? Am I still going to be able to practice this vision or dream job, so to speak, in this time that I'm living in? Right? So a lot of people get shocked and then they go on strikes. They should be getting jobs. Who owes them jobs? That's my next question. Who owes them jobs? Nobody. The government may have promised whatever he promised them, but nobody owes them jobs. The world is not a fair place. The people who succeed because they are always well prepared for success. I made an example that when a couple is expecting a baby at home, they make preparations before the arrival of the baby. For you to have the success you want, you need to make preparations before the success comes. That's why we are discussing your why. Why is it important for you to become successful? If you don't take consistent action today and for the next 5 years, what kind of pain will you experience? Emotionally, how happy will you be with the kind of work you do? Talking about emotional equity, how happy will you be? How satisfied would you be? How excited would you be about going to work? Work is supposed to be exciting. Work is supposed to be sweatless. Work, you're supposed to wake up every morning looking forward to work. But a lot of people wake up every morning counting the days towards Friday. And on Friday, they're celebrating Uguti. They finished 5 days of working jobs they don't like. Such a petty celebration. If you pay attention, the reason why people always look forward to Friday or work and look forward to Friday is because they just want to get through the week. It's not about making the most from the week. It's about getting through the week. So it's a thing of, yeah, it's going to be painful, but I must just bear the pain. And you must remember that your work fills a large part of your life. A very large part of your life. Why is it successful? What kind of work will you be doing 5 years from now if you do not take action? Would you be retrenched? What kind of a father will you be? A frustrated father? A father who comes home with excuses? A mother who comes home grumpy? What kind of a parent will you be? How will you be able to invest the time you want to invest in your kids? For me, one of the reasons why success was important for me, because I'm not married though, right? But my dream is that when I get married, I want my future wife to find me ready to love her as a man, ready to take care of her as a man, ready to be a husband to her, and ready to invest time into her, time into building this relationship. One of the biggest reasons why success is important for me. Another reason is that I want to be the kind of father who takes his kids to school. I want to drive them to school. I want to pick them from school. I want to go and support them in their favorite sports. I want to be there when my child fails. I want to be there when my child is struggling to learn how to swim and drowns. I want to be there to capture that moment. I want to be there as a father to support my children through all their teenage stages and be a father who is my child's or my children's best friend. That's the kind of father I want to be. I want to have the freedom of time and the freedom of money for me to raise my kids the way I want to raise them. For me to teach them success, my success principles then with that to them. I want to have influence. I want to be the most influential person in my children's lives. I want to impact them, teach them about wealth, teach them about business, whatever their dreams are. But I want to be the kind of father who will give and teach all his children the principles of success and the principles that the children will need so that they will be able to thrive even years when I'm gone. So that they can take my businesses to the next level. So I want to be a very present father. I don't want to be a father who throws money at his kids. I want to be there for my kids. Another reason was that I wanted to be a giver at church. I wanted to support my pastor in the best way possible. I want to advance the kingdom of God in the best way possible. Kingdom of God needs money. You say whatever you want to say. For it to be advanced, right, needs money. So I want to invest money into the church, to the kingdom of God. It's one of my core beliefs. I don't know what your why is, but that's one of the most important things to me. I want to be a giver at church. Also, I want to be a blessing to other people. I want to be able to make someone smile. So I set out for myself a goal and a rule every single day that whenever I go to buy food at Woolworths or Pick and Pay, whether the cashier is sad, whether the cashier is happy, whether the cashier is friendly or unfriendly with me, I'm going to give them a tip from 20 Rand and up every time I buy. Because if someone is sad and they're serving me whilst being sad, and I'm able to give them a 20 Rand, I'm able to at least brighten up that person's day. I'm able to at least make someone's day. 20 Rand is not much, but if you give a stranger 20 Rand who was having a bad day, sure enough, it changes the emotion, changes the state, changes their attitude towards the day. Wow, enkosi bhuti, thank you very much. Wow, I didn't expect that. You just made someone's day, or someone's 1 hour, or someone's 10 minutes, or you could say someone's 2 minutes whilst you were buying. But you changed the state, and that's one of the most important things for me. I want to make other people happy. I want to be an extremely wealthy guy so that I can give to people as much as I can. Be a giver, be a lover of people in the best way possible. It's one of my dreams. Next is, I want to be able to travel the world, see the beauty of the world, I always joke around and say, in 2 years' time, I'm going to get married. And I'm going to get married in the Bahamas, and only rich people are going. So everyone who's not going to be rich in 2 years' time will have to watch me get married on Facebook Live, right? So that's just one of the crazy jokes that I always make. But anyways, the whole point is I want to travel the world, see the beauty of the world. I want to go to Dubai, dude. I've never been to Dubai, right? I want to see the beauty of God's creation, what other people are doing in other countries. I want to do all of that. So those are one of my rights. I hope you guys have been writing down, right? Because the whole aim why I'm sharing all of this with you guys is so that you guys can have an idea, so that you can write down your whys. Why is it important for you to succeed? And as I said, another form of pain that I wrote down for myself was that if I don't take action, I will hang myself eventually, because I'll be depressed. Depressed because I know that I've got amazing potential. Depressed because I know that I'm supposed to be a very wealthy guy, but because I know that I am to blame. And because I know that I did not take consistent action when opportunities were presented to me. So for me, not taking action means that one day I will hang myself because I'm depressed. I will be depressed because I know deep down in my heart of hearts that I am the one who is responsible for his success. My father passed away this year in June. And I promise you, if I never took a serious approach to my dreams, I would have hanged myself when my father passed on. Because after my father passed on, I had to take over all his responsibilities. I had to take care of my mom, whom I love so much. I had to take care of my siblings, whom I love very, very much. Right? Losing, being wealthy put me in a position for me to step up at a time when it mattered most. At a time when it mattered most for my mom, because she had just lost her best friend and her husband. My mom and my father were always close to each other. They were always together. My dad loved my mom. 26 years. I've never seen my dad raise a hand or even raise his voice at my mom. Of course, they had arguments like every other couple, but it never got out of hand. My father always honored my mom. And I knew that when my father passed on, that now more than ever, I had to step up. I downgraded my lifestyle. I was staying in guest houses every single day. I was one of those guys who was like, nah, I'm gonna stay in guest houses for the rest of my life. I was that guy, right? So when my father passed on, I downgraded my lifestyle, went back home. I was staying on my own, went back home and said, you know what? My dad passed on. I'm here now. The big brother is home. I'm going to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. I moved my mom to this nice neighborhood that we stay in now, Somerset West in Cape Town, right? And trust me, if I did not take action in my dreams, if I was not serious with regards to being a man with regards to my dreams, when my father passed on, I would have been broke. When my father passed on, I wouldn't have been able to step up to the plate. I wouldn't have stepped into the gap and take. Are you guys with me? Right? So that's why success has to be so important. It must be an emotional thing for you. If you don't feel it in terms of your emotions, you're not going to find the reason to succeed. You're not going to want it bad enough. Right? Everybody wants to be a property investor. Everybody wants to be a multimillionaire. We create platforms. The funny thing is, We've got investors for you to pitch in your deals. We teach you how to find deals. Your job is to find deals. And then after that, the platform for investors is there for you to get financing for your deals. Right? And then you still find people who quit. What the hell? Dude, the platform for you to succeed is there. It's there. All you need to do is to plug yourself in the system for you to succeed. But then people still don't succeed. Why? Because their why was not strong enough. Their why was not strong enough. Right?